strong.
Hi, and welcome to Funny Minds. I'm your host, Lynn B.
I'm Edward Biss.
That is my co-host, if nobody wants to know, but we all want to know. And we have today a very interesting man, yes. He's a writer, filmmaker, producer. He started his own production company, Dream Factory. I love the way it's spelled, FAKTORY. I love anything that's odd. And we have Mr. Stephen Meier on the show with us. Hi, Stephen. Yay!
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
So you're coming to us out of California, sunny old California. How is it? Is there any fires by you or?
No, we don't have any fires near us. It's beautiful
Okay.
today. It's been amazing the last 2 weeks. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where are you SoCal or NorCal?
I'm in Southern California, but I'm in North County, San Diego. So I'm in a little circle.
Okay.
Little
Okay.
circle called Encinitas. So it's
Yeah,
a
it's
little
a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy that you accepted my invitation. I see you on LinkedIn all the time. You crack me up, some of the things that you put on there. But I love the different scenes that you've put in on there. But I don't want to talk about that project that you're showing right now. I want to get into I want to know how or why you got started, why you thought you could be a filmmaker, producer, writer, whatever. Like, what was in your mind? What were you thinking when you started out?
Well, I mean, I've always loved movies, right? I've always loved stories. My grandfather gifted us, well, first of all, I guess it starts with my father. My father used to tell my brother and I bedtime stories all the time. And he would tell us original bedtime stories like Sir Lancelot and I just fell in love with stories. And then as I got older, my grandfather gifted us the Harvard Classics, which are like
yeah, that's good. Yeah.
books that every man should read to be a well-read man. And I was an English major, and I always loved film as well. And I just realized that's what I wanted to do, right? And insane enough to go do it. But it took 2 times to go do it. Because originally when I first started in film, 9/11 hit, and there was no money, and I left it for a while and became a stockbroker, which is crazier. And
yeah, just a little bit.
yeah. It's like the Wolf of Wall Street, totally. And I got out of that because I got diagnosed with heart disease, and I thought to myself, "Hey, man, I'm going to be in the hospital with 2 stents in my heart. Let's go back to doing what I love." So I sold my firm in 2008, 3 weeks before the market crashed, and back in Hollywood ever since. But
how are you doing health-wise now?
Yeah, really? You're so young.
I'm going to be 51 in 3 days.
Well, you're still so young. You're still so young.
Yeah, that's what everyone said to me. I heard that, by the way. I heard "you're so young" 1,000 times the day.
Well, you just got 1,001.
1,000 times. And I was like, and then finally the doctor said it to the nurses, "That's not helping." Right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need to hear that now. But my health is great now. Like it's genetic. It runs in my family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have that crazy high stress I did of managing $100 million.
Yeah.
Crazy lifestyle I had. I was living in Vegas. That was a little bit nuts, right?
Well, I think being a stockbroker is up there with a lot of other crazy type of careers that people have that really are the stress level is so high and so demanding that it does affect your body, your mind, and but you're crazy anyhow.
Well, life in general, but when you're battling the genetic aspect,
that doesn't help.
That's out of your control.
Yeah.
It got to the point where my doctor made me call in my blood pressure in the morning and afternoon, and I called him.
Man.
My blood pressure was 180 over 120, and my doctor was like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Well, I'm calling from my office. I literally just called you." So he's like, "You need to go to the hospital." I'm like, "I can't. I got a client. I'll talk to you later." He's like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "People stroke out," and I was like,
"Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy numbers too." Well, good thing you got out of there. But then
I'm a New York
be...
Giants fan. That's my problem. It's like,
right? There you go. My God.
that's enough to drive you to drink. But being a filmmaker and directing and producing, that's got to be a lot of stress too. I mean,
it's a total amount of stress. It is a crazy amount of stress. I mean,
that's a juggle knot.
It is
a juggle knot because you juggle everything.
Yeah, you do. But I think if it's something you love, right? You really love it. Like you're on, listen, there's no reason to get in this industry unless you love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's a tough industry, man. It's a really tough one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you love it, man, you take it. I mean, listen, I did a film last year. This time last year, we literally started filming this time last year in New York. It's called Lake George, and we just found out today it's going to be in AMC theaters. That was such a
Nice. Nice.
we were filming in New York, having to close down the street in Tribeca for an art gallery and getting the cops involved, and then doing company moves up to Lake George, and there was a blizzard. We filmed in a prison, an active prison. So you'd have to get security guards to walk you to different areas, right? I'm like,
Right.
what are the different colored jumpsuits? They're like, oh, yellows for friendly, greens for new, reds for murder. I'm like, what?
Okay. Black is for death, whatever. But that's so interesting. I mean, the being in the film industry, it's so interesting. And I love to see, like, a lot of times they'll put little clips on how they made a specific scene.
Yeah,
And it's so interesting to watch how all of this is done behind the scenes. And you're
yeah.
sitting in the movie theater and you don't have a clue as to everything that comes on, what really went into doing that. So it's really like very, very interesting. And your movies are like indie movies type of thing. They're like true stories, right? And you like thrillers.
Yeah,
I noticed that you like a lot of horror.
It's funny. To be honest with
thriller.
you, I'm not a big fan of horror, but listen, horror sells. Horror sells worldwide. Horror's the easiest movie to sell, right?
Yeah.
Everyone gets scared. People get scared.
100%.
Same way they do in New Zealand, right? Like it sells.
Yep.
I like thrillers. I do like true stories, and it's crazy. I think the last 3 films I've done have all been based on a true story.
Okay.
All 3 of them, or inspired by true events, right? So they're all very. But yeah, I mean, listen, I love it. It's exciting. It's fun. The indie world.
I'm a documentary guy, 100%. I love documentaries, but I do like my horror films. But I'm an original guy. I like Halloween 1.
Okay, there you go.
Friday the 13th 1. Jaws 1. Like all the originals. That's really where it exploded for me. But I do love it. But documentaries are absolutely my thing.
I listen. I'm actually entertaining doing a documentary right now. Like for years, people have asked me to do documentaries, and at one point, I tried to do one on the AIDS outbreak at Cedars-Sinai Hospital.
Wow!
Oh, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, it was called Bad Blood, and I don't know if you guys know the story, but that's when they mixed up the blood. They gave bad blood to all the newborns.
Yep.
Right.
And I know 14, 15 of the kids that were survivors. One is Jake Glazer, who is Paul Michael Glazer's kid. Paul Michael Glazer is Starsky from Starsky and Hutch.
Right.
Yes.
Really well. So I was going to do that documentary, and I will tell you something. Everyone told me, don't do that documentary. I'll never see the light of day. No one in Hollywood that gives a ton of money to Cedars-Sinai wants that story out there.
Really?
Because Cedars-Sinai was guilty. Yeah, Cedars-Sinai was guilty for putting that out.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. But
you put yourself on the hit list.
Yeah, you do.
They have to atone for their sin sooner or later. Everybody knows.
Yeah. But I wanted to do documentary. I love documentaries. I give all the credit to people that do documentaries, because documentaries, you've got to truly love what you're doing. You got to truly love the story, because it's tough, man. But
you have to believe in it. You have to have a lot of access. You have a lot of agreement. But when you get to see the finished product, man, nothing brought it to light more for me. I would say since COVID. When you were locked down and you're in this space of like, what the hell do I do? For me, it was documentaries because it kept me real. I didn't go off into left field, binge watching a bunch of crap I've already seen. It was something educational, learning or seeing or whatever. And since then, I've been completely addicted to documentaries.
Yeah, I love it. And like I said, I'm entertaining doing one now. That would actually take me to upstate New York. I met with the guy in LA on Monday. Okay. And it's a great story. And I was like, I'm very moved by it. And the whole conversation was, he's like, well, Stephen, you've never done documentaries. And I was like, yeah, the story's a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what's important. And documentaries, it's filming a lot of footage. And sometimes they always say with documentaries, you find the story once you start. Like I know a lot of documentary start with one story, but as soon as they get into it, right, the story changes. walls, whatever, and you go.
So a lot of things start to unfold.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it takes on a life of its own.
100%. So that's kind of exciting to me, right? It's very different from doing a script. Like, all right, we're doing these 4 pages today, right?
Right.
But excited, but I mean, I still love obviously narrative the most by far. Like, I'm excited to get back on set for our next film.
So do you do everything in house, or do you do it by project?
By project.
Do you have in house? Okay.
Yeah, so it all kind of depends, right? It just kind of also budgetary, right?
Yeah.
Budgets, right?
Hollywood's not giving out much money nowadays, though.
That's the hard thing, right? Finding the money is the hardest thing. Right?
Yeah.
I just left a meeting just before this where I said, listen, he who controls the money controls everything in Hollywood, because that's the hardest part. You can have the best script in the world, but if you don't have the money to make it.
Well, that's just it. You've got to have people that are going to back it. If they're not going to back it, it's not going to be told. It could sit on a shelf for God knows how long until somebody decides they're going to do it.
And then you also have to structure it. You have to marry the business side with the creative side. And I always say it because you get a lot of filmmakers who are artists and they have no business sense. I managed $100 million. Like, I have a big background in business. So I try to put it together, because otherwise you'll never have longevity in this business, right? You can't go out and make a movie for a lot of money and then not make any and ever raise more money, right? Everyone's gonna be like, dude, what happened to the $5 million we gave you? Right?
You're right.
you got to structure the film correctly, right? You got to structure with tax incentives, sponsorships, pre-sales. There's a business sense, right? And you have to see it as a business, because it is a business. It's its own little, you know. So that's exciting to me, because then it's like both sides of the brain popping, like, no.
Yeah.
I like backpedaled a lot. I love British humor, and I do a lot of stuff on BritBox and stuff. But I backpedaled and started watching like Gossip Girls and One Tree Hill. Now I just finished The Entourage, so that was all about Hollywood and Harry and the agents. And I was hysterical. I was laughing, and I just binge watched the whole thing because it was so great, all the seasons. So I'm thinking about you as Harry, the agent, and. But you were also the producer and the director and everything. And that's so interesting. It's really very, very interesting to me when I see a lot of these clips or trailers online. And I just love watching them.
It's a lot to juggle. I mean, it's a massive amount of responsibility, and you're responsible for a lot of money and a lot
and a lot of people,
a lot of high fives afterwards. So it becomes tough sledding, and I think the biggest challenge that I always viewed was the contrast between the money and the creative side.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're putting up the money, we want this. The creative side saying, no, I don't care about the money. That makes no sense, and that whole back and forth.
Yeah, it's tough. Listen, I've got friends that are producing in Hollywood who don't work much anymore because they got convinced to spend more money on this certain actor. Because if you put this actor in it, they're going to put butts in seats. Well, they put butts in seats. Now everyone's like, why'd you spend that much money on a movie? You're like, holy shit, everyone told me to, right? Like, it's just, it's tough. It's a lot. And, I'll tell you this, you have to put out flyers every day. Like every something now. You can have the best planned thing to go. Like when we were in New York last year, we drove from Orange County Correctional Facility up to Lake George. And we got to Lake George the next day. We did our location where we would put the cameras at this beautiful lake house on the lake. Beautiful, right? Went back the next morning, right? Because everyone was tired from the night before. Get back the next morning, a blizzard hit. And literally, it was a winter wonderland. So everything just changed, continuity. We didn't have snow in the rest of the movie, but now I got a winter wonderland. Like, I can't, it was just crazy. So now you got to shoot everything in a different way, got to avoid the snow. But it was an all glass house.
Oh, wow. And Lake George is beautiful. I've been to Lake George many times. It's absolutely gorgeous up there. But so how did you account for the snow? I mean, you couldn't there's no way you could introduce it. You had no.
Well, we could, but the day that we had the shots planned that day, we couldn't. So we had to kind of work around that, redo some things. And it got really tricky because, like I said, it was an all glass house, right? So But,
yeah, but that's cool in and of itself.
Yeah, really, like the thoughts of it, like,
I'll tell you this, man, filming in Lake George was amazing because that is a cool little town. But I think a lot of people don't realize is it's like I guess a summer town, right? It goes off in the summer.
Yes. Well, they do have some stuff in the winter because you have the people going on the lakes and the sledding and skiing and stuff like that. But it's not as big in the winter as it is in the summer. The summer months, especially the main street and everything, it's just really hopping.
Down. So it's kind of eerie, right? And what's makes it even more eerie is all these old arcades.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And the arcade games are still going on. So you hear the stuff like a clown, you're like, that's just
Yep.
I remember that filming every horror movie in Lake George during the winter.
Yes.
Because I was like, this place is creepy. It was fun. It was awesome. And people in New York.
It's super cool.
And then your other movie, I was going to ask you about, what was the other movie you did? Lynn, Blonde Moment. No, you're working on EDM project right now, which you show some scenes like, and everything was on fire. And so I don't know what it was like, you just see people and.
Yeah, so we're doing an EDM heist movie. Right. So we're working with the DJs, Dimitri Vegas and Steve Aoki.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I should say this, but I will say this. Okay. But like most of the DJs out there, they're scared of AI, right? Of all years that could be taken over, like, let's be honest, you put a bunch of music into a computer and it could spit out. So a lot of them are trying to pivot, right? And one of them, this group that owns Tomorrowland, right? They want to do this EDM heist movie. So we're starting to put that together now. That clip was just a clip of us with the guys, getting the feeling of being at the shows, interacting with the roadies and the crew, the people.
Oh, okay.
And it's more the research for the script, right? Mm-hmm. But the thousands of people out there, and
you could see and where was this filmed at? Like, where did you film it?
That was Florida. That was this past month. EDC.
I was in Florida. Where in Florida?
But it was in what's it
called?
Can you
tell?
It was an EDC concert, so it was huge, right outside of Miami. Yeah.
Oh, outside Miami. Okay. Because Eddie's outside of Tampa. I'm in Jersey.
I'm in Tampa.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you, Lynn?
I'm a Jersey girl. I never left. Wow. Never left. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Just dyed her hair purple. That was
dyed my hair purple and stayed. But I did write a book. I can send you my script, even though you're not taking anything. I could be a Hallmark movie. I know.
Or a horror show.
And it's not really a horror thing, but it is based on, it's fiction, but it's based on a lot of truth.
This is the best story. I say
you never know. You might like it.
I get hit up for stories all the time.
Oh, I'm sure.
I stopped checking my DMs on LinkedIn because of that. Right.
I bet.
And some people are just rude about it. Some people are
really?
Get to know you. I really like that post, blah, blah, blah. Some people are like, hey, read my script. You should make my movie.
I'm going to put it out there. You know what?
And they start bullying you, right?
I would never do that. I would put it out there and say, does anybody want to read this or, And if somebody did, I'd be the happiest person in the world. They said no. Well, you got to accept no. I mean, it's a human emotion. No, some people, I could imagine they do get angry, but hey, you know what? Life is what it is. Either you make it or you don't make it. It's one or the other.
I'm all about no's, right? So like as a stockbroker, 1,000 no's will give me one yes. That one yes could be the biggest.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we used to count no's, right? Because of that. Yeah. And it drives me crazy in Hollywood because no one says no. Everyone always says, well, that's a pretty good idea. It's a worst.
I think it's like nothing ventured, nothing gained, Well, you got to try.
It leads you to believe.
Yeah. I'm all about being very black and white. I'm like, no, I'm not interested. No.
Yeah.
Why can't people just be honest and say what they really think? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I want. Like I was in a meeting 2 weeks ago up in Hollywood, and I literally just want to get up middle meeting and just be like, why? What's the point? Why are we here? Right? This is, I don't want to waste my time. I want to beat traffic back home.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'd rather play my mom in beer pong right now.
Yeah, right.
Where I'd rather be. I'd rather do that right now.
Yeah, because like you're just blowing smoke up my ass. I don't care. I'm out here. I'm too old for this shit. You know?
Way ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm too old for this
Way
shit.
ahead of you.
That's the truth.
Right.
Why people can't say no? You know?
I'd rather go home and watch Jaws 1 again.
Yeah, right.
Again.
Yeah. No,
and enjoy
it's true. I mean, like, you got to call it like you see it. Like, just say it. Don't say yes because you think you're going to hurt my feelings. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just say no. It's like, okay, you say no, I'll go to the next person. I'll go to the next person. I'll go to the next person. Maybe someone will say yes. You don't know.
That's right. That's what you got to do.
Hey, Stephen, let me ask you this. What is your favorite #1 movie of all time?
I would say it's probably True Romance.
Really?
Yeah. I would say True Romance. I say that because it's also probably the #1 movie that made me want to become a writer. But that that fluctuates with that and, Beautiful Girls. Like Beautiful
Girls. Yeah.
Maybe you want to be a writer.
Yeah.
But yeah, True Romance, it's one of those that I was like, that's what I want to make. That's what I want to do.
Have you ever thought about getting into any type of illustration or any type of,
animation?
Disney type stuff? Yeah, animation, all that stuff.
I've got an animation movie being made in South Africa right now with Luna Studios.
Called really?
Neighborhood Pet Watch. If you go and look on my LinkedIn, you'll see a link to it, and all the artwork's done. And I wrote that 13 years ago when I was living in Venice Beach. And I went out for a walk with my girlfriend at the time, and I had a French bulldog, and we left our little Frenchie at home. And when we came back home, there was 4 LAPD cars parked out front, and I was like, "What the hell?" And we saw our huge French doors were kicked down, and this female cop was holding my little Frenchie, and he was shaking. Right?
Yeah.
What the hell happened? And they said someone broke into your house, like middle of the day, a game day.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So I wrote this script about it. I was like, well, what if my Frenchie, Frederick, started a neighborhood watch group because pets are the only ones that are home, and he recruited around the neighborhood. And it's taken 13 years to get it here. But I've actually done a lot of animation films. And I have another one that's actually you can watch on like DirecTV or something. It's called Halloween, The Legend of...
Okay.
But I've written a lot of animation. I love that. And we had a lot of animation that were about to go. We had a 3-picture deal with this Chinese company right before COVID started. And then when COVID hit, we literally didn't even know if they were still alive.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we weren't getting emails from them for like 4 months.
Wow.
All the money.
So they went radio silent.
Totally. Yeah, but COVID started in China, so I mean they got hit the worst first,
Yeah.
So
we literally didn't know if they were alive for like 4 months.
Wow.
And then they explained to us that obviously that crushed their economy, and all the people that had extra money in the films couldn't do that. So, but I love animation. I've written a bunch of scripts. Speaking of British humor, I had a project that was announced on Deadline 10 years ago that Terry Jones from Monty, it was a script that Terry Jones was going to direct that he didn't write. And Eric Idle from Monty Python was also writing a song.
Oh, Monty Python, that's my favorite.
Yeah, it was.
That's my favorite. I mean, such thick humor is great.
I got to meet all those guys, and I was so excited about that movie. And then we announced it at AFM like 10 years ago, and then he came down with a aggressive form of dementia.
Yes. Oh, wow. So that derailed everything, huh?
Wow.
What
a shame. What a shame.
All the money, all the the people that were going to invest in Terry Jones, right?
Yeah.
And then of course they were going to go get some of the other guys from Python to do some voices.
Well, and John Cleese, and
So so unfortunately that didn't happen. We've tried to make that. We tried to actually. Someone just asked me about this. I tried to get that going again 2 years ago. We thought GoPro with Australia and Canada. And now it's got a different name called Where Santa, but man, I mean, it's just hard. Like once you see how it made, just the movie itself, right? You were talking about this earlier. People that don't know everything that goes into it, but just how hard it is to make a movie. But animation, man, that's even harder because the time cycle for that is so long, and it's just it's hard, but I love it. I love animation because I love feeling like a kid again, right? And writing the most ridiculous stuff.
I would have to think that has to be, but from a technical aspect, that has to be very laborious and, constant alterations and to the writing and changes.
And the voices have to be right. You have to have the right
voices,
people for the voices.
The way they collaborate, the voices, the music,
yeah.
the sound effects, all the audio. I mean,
it almost seems like animation would be like a snap. What's the big deal? It's just it's it's got to be so easy, but it's really way beyond that. It seems
it's tough, but I will say with technology is with AI, what AI
right?
Yeah.
You're going to be able to animate your own movie from your house.
Well, my daughter did something a couple of weeks ago. She had an old picture of her brother, my youngest son, and it's her now. And my son came and he hugged her. And I said to her, "How did you do that?" And she said, "With AI, Mom." And I'm like, "You have to show me how you did that. I have to use that. I'll use it when I put stuff out there. It was brilliant. I mean, it was so interesting." She said it was so easy. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, there's some apps out there that are doing some amazing things, but then there's some companies that are even going further. Like I had a full-on 35-minute discussion with Marilyn Monroe like 6 months ago.
Oh, no way.
My God. That is my absolute fave. Marilyn Monroe. I have so much stuff of hers. Oh my God.
This guy's company, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it's crazy. He designed this because I don't know if you guys know the story, but Will Smith, the actor, lost his father and was looking for someone that would be able to recreate his father.
Mm-hmm.
He could always talk to his father.
And it wasn't Elon Musk.
No, it wasn't Elon. It was this other guy. So anyways, this guy did it, and then he decided to do a couple other celebrities. They were looking for something a couple months ago. So he let me test it out, and I got to pick which celebrity I wanted to chat with. And it was crazy.
Oh, my God.
It was seriously insane. And they're looking to use the technology now to be like in colleges and high schools to be like, let's say if you're in your English lit class and you want to see, hear Hemingway talk, right? Old Man and the Sea.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
That is so amazing. Cool. I have to look that up. That is like
that stuff is cool for AI. Obviously, AI in Hollywood is a huge issue that everyone's fighting about.
Yes.
I was on a project, a French Montana project a year ago, where they wanted to use AI to change people's lips, right, and change words.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at Ranny! I told you Ranny was going to come on.
Oh, look at this!
Hi, Ranny. I'm sorry. You came on at the wrong time, honey.
Hi.
Goodbye.
Say hi to Steven. Oh, she's gone. Poor Ranny. She was supposed to be on like an hour ago, more than an hour ago.
Really?
I said to my son, maybe I should like delete that. And he's like, "Oh no, she's not going to come on." She probably got the time wrong. She probably got the time wrong. Yeah, she runs a kids.
Yeah, no, I know she.
Do you know her?
Oddball.
Yeah.
Oh, you know her. That's great.
No, everyone. Well, when I was marketing my film that I did with a bunch of influencers, Woodbridge, I was talking to everyone on LinkedIn. Like I talk to people all the time.
And Woodbridge was another movie that you did that was based on a true story too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was like inspired by true events. Mm-hmm. Right, gotta be careful with the wording, right?
Yeah.
Netflix right now. Netflix is going to pay a lot of money to that girl.
Compliance.
Yeah, yeah, really.
They're gonna settle that one out of court, and that's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful with those words. But yeah, we did that one. I did that. I chose like 19 influencers that could actually act.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Try to do something different, and that was fun. So basically, took 19 kids out of LA. I brought them down here, put them up in houses, and we shot this film.
Wow.
That's sick. That's awesome.
But it's Hollywood, so you're always going to put your spin on it. It's not going to be true to anything. You're always, it's got a basis.
Yeah, this was true to events that happened to me in high school. Right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we only changed like 10% of it. So
but you still had to change something.
And we didn't have to. I could have done the real one. I could have. The real events are still.
I don't know. I just view Hollywood as really making, like never doing anything exact. I mean, you could say, Lynn, you're wrong, but I just view it that, they take everything, but they put
I think
their
there's
own
also
little
a
spin on it
time.
somewhere.
I think there's issues with time. How long is it going to be? Within that framework, what do you want to, show in that period? Is it 90 minutes? Is it 60 minutes? What do you want to do in that time frame? I think that probably plays a part.
Yeah, and then also listen, people also sometimes want to dramatize something a little bit further.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably more of the word that I'm looking for, the drama, of the whole thing, and taking a
Save the
storyline,
drama for your
like
mama.
the old way of boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, boy marries girl, that's the old Hollywood or something like that, type of thing. But nowadays the boy doesn't have to fall in love and the boy doesn't have to get the girl, and there could be a little discrepancy.
So nowadays he's going to kill the girl.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Out how he did it,
right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm
waiting for someone to come out
with
with a new Carrie. Like Carrie, the original Carrie was amazing, and I don't know if you'll ever top it.
I think they're doing that, right? I think they're doing a series in that.
Are they really?
Oh, dude, they keep mining Stephen King left and right. I think I literally type in Carrie deadline series. I think it literally just got announced.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they'll remake all that stuff. Because here's the thing that just drives me crazy about Hollywood. Everything right now in Hollywood is about IP. Like taking a well-known IP and redoing it, or it has to be nothing original. No one wants to take chances, and it just drives me nuts, right?
They've remade everything already. The Flintstones. Yeah. I mean, like, you name it. It's like it's been done 15 times over, and you're like, every time they come up with something new, I'm like salivating. Like when they came up with the movie yesterday about the Beatles, and it was an Indian kid. You know that you've seen the movie. That was a great concept. It was something different.
Listen,
it was very well done.
There's been some amazing originals, right?
Yeah.
I always say the best script I've read in the last 10 years is probably Whiplash, right?
Yeah.
And that's a phenomenal movie. It makes me care about something I would never even think about, right? Drum, like, who gives a shit? But like J.K. Simmons won an Academy Award for that, right? That's a phenomenal original.
Yes.
That's just amazing to me.
Yes.
And I grew up, like I said, I'm 50 years old. So I grew up with those great 80s and 90s movies, right?
How old are you?
I'm 50 years old.
51.
Oh, you're old, man.
I am old.
He's not old.
You're old. I'm 57.
Wow.
I can say that.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you remember those films, right? The John Hughes films, or even the edgier films like The Less Than Zeros, The Risky Business.
Oh my God. Less Than Zeros. Amazing.
Right? And I want to try to bring that back. There's films that have some edge and some heart and things, right? I'm sick of all the Marvel films, and I'm sick of all the, listen, horror. We're doing a horror movie, so I gotta be careful because but like that's not really my thing. Like I want to see those gritty.
Yeah, but there's good horror and there's cheesy horror and there's gory horror and
But I want to see those gritty, cool, dramatic films, right? I want to see that next Risky Business. I want to see that, right? I want to see those John Hughes films. I want to see that, right? I want to see Stand By Me. I want to see those.
Yes. But you mentioned Whiplash. That was a phenomenal movie.
That was a really great movie.
Phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I
have my Marvel shirt on because I do like Marvel.
Yeah, I did see that. That's why I kind of hesitate. I'm not a fan, right? But
I'm not either.
Yeah, but obviously there's huge fans of it. I am more of, like I said, I'd rather go see something like Whiplash than right. Now, my friend
Porky's one.
Dude, Porky's is great.
Porky's
so funny. You talk
Porky's.
About that.
When I seen that in high school, I almost pissed in my pants.
Oh, dude, so good.
The movie theater.
I was just talking about it. I tell people all the time, I literally watch like Porky's and all those movies, Caddyshack and all those movies like once a year.
Caddyshack, I love.
And you could never make Porky's today. I
No.
couldn't take that as studio.
No.
If you try to say, I want to have a scene where he puts his dick through this little thing and the lady grabs it, they'd be like, all right, get out of the office, right? Get out of here. Like, you can't make those movies, right? Like Revenge of the Nerds, right? Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
Revenge of the
God.
Nerds. That was great.
Oh my God, I love the Revenge of the Nerds.
it was a great time in film to me, and I feel
it was phenomenal.
yeah, we got away.
Phenomenal.
We got away into these. Hollywood's all about tent poles, right? These huge movies, these $80 million budgets, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, man, give me something funny. And that's another thing, right? We just went through like 10 years where there's no comedies, which is crazy to me, right? There used to be a great R-rated movie every weekend. Like, I remember my dad took us to see Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh,
right?
yeah. No, they
Yes.
did a remake on that. They did a remake on Beverly Hills Cop. And what was the other one they just did?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
But it's well, yeah, Beverly
They did another
Hills
Top
Cop.
Gun, right? They did another Top Gun. They did another Beverly Hills Cop.
Yep.
They did-
Top Gun, yep.
Yes, they did.
And they're
It's not
looking
the
at
same.
that right now. They're looking at all their properties and thinking, what can we come
Bad
back?
Boys. They did a remake,
Yeah.
another Bad Boys. I thought the Bad Boys was pretty good. I liked
my
the two of
buddy-
them together.
Yeah.
I did. I liked it. But I like them.
That's when your medicinal chocolate kicked in.
Yeah,
what was that one McMuffin? What was that one? Was it
McLovin?
Oh,
That's it.
my
McLovin.
God.
What the heck was that?
That's,
Oh my God, that movie was crazy. What the heck is it?
That's
Superbad.
Yeah, that was
Superbad.
hilarious.
That was great.
That's like it's the one reason I can't hate Seth Rogen, right? Because I get so tired of the same stuff all the time. But I'm like, but he did write Superbad.
It was actually funny. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember I went to see it in the movies with my wife, and we laughed so hard at the theater. And it was so funny that when we woke up the next day, we were still laughing.
You were still laughing.
Immediately we woke up and we looked at each other and we started reciting the shit, and it was that funny. And
it is.
Yeah. But I do get what you're saying about Seth Rogen. I do agree, but that was funny.
It was
funny.
funny. Like I was saying, like I can always be like, that's a great movie. I will watch it. If it comes on cable, I'm watching it. Right?
Oh, totally.
Certainly,
if there's 10 minutes left, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of the funniest shit.
And what's the one with the parents? What's his name from Kings and Queens?
Old school. Oh no, that's
No.
It's funny too, though.
Where they're going?
Old school classic.
No, they pee in the pool. It turns blue. What the heck is that?
Grown ups. That's not
Grown ups. Yeah, grown ups. That was good.
Adam Sandler to me has figured it out, right? The guy gets paid to hang out with his friends and make movies, and exactly okay.
Yeah,
and that's it. Yeah,
yes.
And,
you're right.
And what I love about
they're all hilarious.
Yeah, what I love about Adam, especially, is he works with the same people. He has the same crew,
right?
And everyone's loyal, right? And it's a well-oiled machine. They all get put up in beautiful, like, Four Seasons hotels or whatever when they go shoot. And he does what he wants to do with his people. He wants to do, and I think that's.
He shares the wealth. He's generous.
He does. He is very.
He sees guys employed and relevant in a town where it's very hard to do.
Yeah,
especially with comedy. And I can't say enough about it. I don't like all his movies, but most of them.
Yeah,
and he has some of the best classics. I mean, Happy Gilmore. They're doing a new Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, they just shot that, so that just wrapped. Yeah, but. Yeah, listen, Billy Madison is still the most absurd movie, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, a good friend of mine is really close with Adam and his whole group, and we pitched Adam a movie. They're just great people. They're just they're one of those groups in Hollywood where you're like, okay, that's a great group, right? Because there's a lot of people that are assholes, right? There's a lot of people. Jesus, but there's people like him that are just solid, like him, Keanu Reeves.
A little bit more down to earth.
Oh, yeah, Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu Reeves, too.
Everyone loves Keanu. No one will say a bad word. He's the best. And then Colin Farrell has really flipped.
Oh, yeah.
Great dude. Now, I used to do yoga with Colin all the time in LA. He told me, he's like, Steve, having his kid was the best thing that ever happened to him, right? And then having an autistic kid, right? Because his kid's autistic. He's like, because he was a hardcore partier, right?
Yeah.
So he was burning down the building, right? but he's like turned his shit around, and he's just this great dude, right? So there's still some of those people in Hollywood that you're like, all right, those people are cool. I like them. And then there's other people.
And you're in the business, so you're around a lot of people, but I've bumped into people throughout my tenure in New York City and being entertaining and music, but I did meet Michael Keaton once.
Yeah.
And on the Upper West Side of Manhattan at a place called the Raccoon Lodge back in the 90s. And he was the nicest. Like, he was just there with 2 crew members.
Yeah.
Just having a beer, came in with my cousins. And I was like, Mr. Mom, he turned around. Yeah. He bought my cousin a shot for her birthday. And he was the nicest guy. Talked to us for like about an hour and a half, man. He was super cool. And it's so cool when you meet people.
Yeah. And they just have a great
and they're
attitude.
Every bit just as human. And you're like,
Yeah, 100%.
Breath of fresh air.
Yeah, because unfortunately, it's not always the case, right? Yeah, I used to see Keaton in Venice Beach a lot, right? I'd always see him reading the paper on Sunday morning at this little cafe.
Aww.
That's great.
You know who my favorite actor is? Channing Tatum.
Oh, Channing
Tatum.
I love
Channing Tatum.
He's like,
Yes, my heartthrob.
Oh. Why is that?
There's just something about him. The first time I saw him, and I used to like Heath Ledger, but he's gone.
Magic Mike. I think Magic Mike set her off.
Well, no, I saw him long before Magic Mike. He was pretty good in that. But there was the first time I saw him, I was just like, oh my God, be still my heart. You are gorgeous. You are just one gorgeous person, And I just love everything that he does. I do.
Did you just watch the movie he just did with Zoe Kravitz? Directed?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that, but I will. It's going to be on. I didn't get to go to the movies to see it, but it is going to be on. They'll offer it pretty soon, so I'll see it. Sometimes they put something out in the movies and it's gone in 2 weeks.
That's because it didn't do well.
Yeah, well, probably, yeah. So,
but it's not probably. That's why they do it. It doesn't do it.
But I wanted to see it only because it seemed like a much different type of a role that he doesn't normally do, and I will get to see it when they put it on the cable thing.
Spank-travision.
Spank-travision.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm sorry. I like him too bad.
Here's the one thing I say about Channing Tatum. I give anyone in Hollywood credit that's written a script, right? So if you've written a script, then you're major points in my book, right? But we were just having a conversation before this meeting. I was with an actress just now talking about Sylvester Stallone, right? I was like, I will always like Sylvester Stallone. For one, he's got an Academy Award for Rocky, and
right.
But two,
hell yeah,
right? Like that's an amazing story. Not just the screenplay Rocky, but the story behind it, like the story that how he turned down money, he refused. He kept saying, "No, I got to be in it," and people are like, "You out of your mind? You can't act." So like. I do give Channing Tatum respect for writing, right? He wrote, him and Reed Caroline, her producing partner, they're cool. They're doing a lot. They're doing a project right now that I was eyeing for years on the Isle of Man, over in England, the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, him and Brad Pitt's company, Plan B.
Well, he's on my bucket list, but not that I'll ever get him on the show, but I can, there's always dreams. You can always dream.
I'll
keep putting it out there.
Hey, kudos to Brad Pitt. He's a Kansas City Chiefs fan like myself.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
He's a Missouri boy. Yeah.
Listen, you never know. Like, go on the IMDb Pro, reach out to their rep, and
Oh yeah, no, I like I said, I never, you can say no to me a million times over. I'll still keep trying. I send something to the Kelsey brothers like at least once a month because I would. I know they do a sports show. Why would they want to be on my show? But I just think it's hysterical. But it doesn't matter. I'm still going to send it every month.
You're stalking my tight end.
Yeah. Those two have just blown up. Like they're a little.
They have.
Too much now, right? Like now I'm like
they're crushing it.
Yeah.
They're almost too much. They're everywhere.
Yeah, but I think they're really funny together. That's what I like. I like the whole camaraderie between the two brothers. I think it's really great.
Yeah. Oh, it's also an amazing story.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
like the story of how he, his older brother basically saved his younger brother's career, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, especially in college. Yeah.
Especially in college. And then especially with Andy Reid, right? He Andy called him
for him.
He said, which brother am I going to get? Am I getting the one that's going to be responsible to show up, or am I getting this asshole?
Yeah.
And the older brother was like, you're going to get one that's going to, show up, be on time and be respectful. And that's huge.
Yeah.
That shit like that.
It is an amazing story. And it's going to be a documentary. I mean, everything we're talking about right now, everything with Mahomes, everything with Kelsey.
Yes. Stephen, there you go. That's another documentary. Think about it.
Listen, 30 for 30 on ESPN is one of the greatest programs.
30 for 30, yeah, absolutely.
They have it down to a science. I will watch any 30 for 30. I don't give a shit if I don't know who that athlete is.
I don't care if it's girls street hockey.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
I'm watching.
Yeah. The way they do it, I'm like, oh my, I'll be bawling. Like,
I gotta eat ice cream no matter what. This is too much.
They just did one on Pat Tillman, right? They did one on Pat.
Oh yes.
Oh my God! I went to college with Pat, so I went to Arizona State.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so Pat and I had an English class together. And I gotta tell you, man, I was always nicest guy, quietest guy, right?
Yeah.
And my father was also career military Army. My dad's Army Ranger, airborne.
Mm-hmm.
He was head of the War Room, Defense of Nuclear Agency. So the whole Pat Tillman thing is really close with us because I knew that he went into the military, right? He passed an NFL contract, right? Screw that. Be a Ranger.
That's beyond the story. It's like it's mind blowing, to be honest with you.
It's just like, who does that, right?
No, exactly. Who does that?
Who gives up that life to go get shot at, and then unfortunately get shot by your own people?
Yeah. Really. That's
they
scary.
Can't write that stuff. You can't write that stuff unless you're evil.
Yeah. 100%. So
that's true.
But yeah, those 30 for 30s, man, those guys that's just such a well-oiled machine. So good.
It is. Well, unfortunately, it's time for us. We must be going. Okay. And you are just so interesting. This time has gone so fast. You're a very interesting man, and I knew you would be. And I'm so happy that you agreed to be on the show.
She's flirting with you, Steven.
I am not. Don't pay attention to him.
She's flirting.
I don't need to do that. But no, it was really a pleasure to have you on. I'm so happy that you said yes, and we didn't have to get a no from you.
Hell yeah, man! And get down here to Tampa.
Let's do a Zoom next time I'm on set with my next movie. Let's do it from set.
Yeah. And that's what I would love to do. I would love to have the time where I had nothing else in the world to do and I could just go, all these people and go watch their movies from behind, the back scenes and watch how they do everything. I think that would be the most interesting thing to be able to do, that would be very amazing.
We're invited to our next set. So.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really great meeting both of you too.
Well, tell everybody where they find you. Where is everybody going to find you, Steven?
Well, I mean, you find me on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, I know.
I don't like social media. So only my films are on social media, but I'm not. I don't do TikTok, Instagram. I don't care. But I'm on LinkedIn, right?
Yes,
and
you are.
LinkedIn, I waver daily with, should I just shut it down?
Don't shut it down. You put some really interesting things on there. Don't shut it down.
That's what people tell me, and that's what kind of keeps me on. So that's really where you can find me. You can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay, and we want everybody to watch all your shows because they're very. I looked at some stuff; it looks very interesting, and I saw some of your clips.
Yeah, so Lake George, in January. We're looking at the weekend of the 28th, and then
I will definitely see that.
Woodbridge you can watch now on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The surprise visit, I think it's on Amazon, Tubi, I don't know, all the streamers.
Right.
That was one we did during COVID. That was fun. Right. So yeah.
And you have a lot more to come. You've got a lot more in you there, Steven.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then there's some other films that are just stupid, but
They're stupid. But they're filmed. There's something that you liked and you put yourself behind them, and that's important. That's,
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter. They're important to you. Okay?
Yeah. It's your baby, mate.
Really? Yeah. Well, I'm going to say thank you to everybody for watching. And we're Funny Minds, and you can go on our website, funnyminds.com. And we're really pushing YouTube. So we would really love for everybody to subscribe on YouTube. And we have our merch. We have different designs for Funny Minds. We're 420 friendly, and we have a lot of other things for men and what have you. And I have a QR code, which I'm going to be sending out on LinkedIn pretty soon. And this is going to air the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So I will wish all of you, your family, our family, friends, all of our fans and their family to have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoy your life and be thankful for the life that you have and what you have in your life. So with that, I'm going to say bye-bye now. And I love all of you. And I'm very happy that you joined us today. And I want you to laugh because we know that laughter is always the best medicine. So bye-bye, Stephen. Bye-bye. Enjoy your holiday with your family.
Hey, I'm coming to Hollywood. We're gonna party.
All right, that sounds good.
We're gonna do a freak off.
Whoa!
No!
You're gonna get a visit from the FBI now.
No!
Thank you guys.
Good, Steven.
Bye-bye.